Hey everybody, it's Miss Williams again. This is Solving Exponential Equations. This is Exponents and Logs Day 3, third video in this unit. So before we can solve exponential equations, we have to remember a couple things that we've done the past two sessions. You have to remember that you can change exponential equations into log equations to get the variable out of the exponent. Alright? So the first thing we have to do is get the exponent by itself first, and then we can change it to logs. So if we start with a simple equation, 4 to the x power equals 12. Well, I know 4 to the first is 4, and 4 squared is 16. So I know that x has to be some number between 1 and 2, but I'm not sure what it is. So I can use logs to help me find that out. So what I'm going to have to do is change it from exponents to logs, because everything on the left-hand side is just the 4 and its exponent. So the base stays the base, and the other two things switch sides. So, in other words, 4 to the x equals 12 is the same as log base 4 of 12 is equal to x. The x is by itself. Now, this doesn't really give me a good indication of what that answer is, but I can put that in my calculator, log base 4 of 12, and I end up with 1.79, which is a number that I would expect, a number between 1 and 2. Okay? So, they can get harder, but we need to remember these three steps. Once I get the base and the exponent by itself, then I have to change the exponents to logs, and then finally I can solve the resulting equation. Alright, so let's try a couple. 3 plus 5 to the x power is equal to 10. Well, the base and the exponent's not by itself. I have to get the base and the exponent by itself first. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides and end up with 5x is equal to 7. Now that it's by itself, I can change it to logs. So the base stays the base, the other two things switch sides. Log base 5 of 7 is equal to x. I'm going to put that in my calculator, and I'm going to end up with 1.21 equals x. Alright, one more. It's going to follow these same three steps. This time it's a little bit harder because that's 3 to the 2x power is equal to, divided by 5 is equal to 2. So I have to get rid of divided by 5 first by multiplying both sides by 5. End up with 3 to the 2x power is equal to 10. Now the base and the exponent's by itself, so I'm going to change it to logs. The base stays the base, the other two things switch sides. So log base 3 of 10 is equal to 2x. I'm going to put the log base 3 of 10 in my calculator and end up with 2.1 is equal to 2x. And now I still have one more step left to do because I want x by itself. So I divide both sides by 2 and I end up with x equals 1.05. Okay? Just a few more examples. We're going to do two more. They're going to follow these same steps. They might just be a little harder, but the steps are the same. So 5 minus 4 to the x plus 2 equals negative 4. So I'm going to get rid of the 5 first by subtracting 5 from both sides. End up with negative 4 to the x minus 2 equals negative 9. I don't want them to be negative, so I'm going to change both those negatives to positive, divide both sides by negative, or multiply both sides by negative 1. 4 to the x plus 2 is equal to 9. Now that it's by itself, so now I'm going to change it to logs. Base stays the base, the other two things switch sides. I'm going to put log base 4 of 9 in my calculator and get 1.58. And then finally, this is a one-step equation, so I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, and I end up with x equals negative 0.42, 42 hundredths. Alright, last one. So I now have to get the 2 to the 5x minus 2 by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Get rid of the 4 on the denominator on the left-hand side. Still need to get rid of that 3 in front, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. 12 minus 3 gives me 9. Now the the base and its exponent are by itself. So I'm going to change it to logs. Log base 2 of 9 is equal to 5x minus 2. Put the log base 2 of 9 in my calculator, and I get 3.16 is equal to 5x minus 2. And now I have a two-step equation, so I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and then divide by 5. Alright, we'll practice some more of these in class. Hope you have a good evening.